This is Damon Stevens with FinWealth Builders. Today is Thursday, December 16th, 2021, and this is Stock Market Update for trades of the day. Interesting day today, quite a pullback from yesterday. Definitely see some sector rotation going on here. Let's get into some charts and let's take a look at what's going on in the market. If you look at it, FANG stocks were down across the board. So definitely big tech was losing some money and it was filtering back into finance and healthcare. So definitely see some sector rotation, money flowing in and out. And so, does it flow back into tech? That's what we'll be looking for and seeing if we can get support to do that and still get this rally out here if, that keeps being discussed. But again, you have to follow the price action. So, who knows if it'll give it to us or not this year. But for sure, the volatility remains in place, which means we're going to be swinging up and down until we get some type of level of security or support. So just be careful out there trading. You can see here Dow Jones closed down 0.08%, NASDAQ down 2.47%, a lot, and S&P 500 down 0.87%. So Dow Jones ended up just closing pretty much close to nothing, to zero, to flat. But NASDAQ really had a lot of that technology money flowing out. ADGI was the big one. It was over 123. Yesterday we didn't really have anything, but it didn't trade ADGI. You can see what it did here. Let's look at this. So back on the 14th of December, it was at 33.10, and it had this gigantic gap down on the 14th, and then it started to just continue declining down to $5 and around $5.50 from 33. So that's a huge decline on this stock. And then you can see that it had a little money flowing back into it around December 16th. You see this big old growth from $6, basically up to 16 today. So the money came back in to this tech, or to this therapeutic stock. So we got from basically 560 to 1640. So we'll see if we get another day out of this, or if this is a one-day hit. It looks like it's holding so far, so we'll check this in the morning. But definitely an opportunity here. Just know that this is your gap. You have a huge gap here to fill. Not that it's going to fill it on this round or anytime soon, but it is something to be aware of, that there is the space to be filled. So just keep that in mind as you're trading here. So that was our small cap here. So IBR, this was from the other day, VIR, I mean. So you see here with that trend line that we talked about again yesterday, the trend line again, we talked about, does it rally back up again and give us more? And it did. It gapped up here and it gave us more, 57.11, and then it's pulled back to the 50, which is right back where it was, back here. So, something to watch here. Do we get support off this and get any more, or is this it? So you see this support here. You can see that it broke out and then came back down, and that's where we're at right now. So if we can rally back off here, perhaps we can, continue to go up and hit it again, the trend line. If it fails on the 50, then we could be coming back down lower to 51, possibly down to 48. So just be careful with VIR if you're trading it. Earnings, this week said it was kind of light and looking for opportunities, but it did not take advantage of anything this week on earnings. Eli Lilly did have earnings already. Had a nice run here, broke the highs, and we're making a new high. So we spiked 283.90, so 284. We're going to see if we can get up to 290, and then possibly this rallies up to 300. But it is overextended from the 5, so we could have a retracement at some point. So just be careful out there if you are trading this one. If it does, retrace, it should find some type of support here at around the 275 level, where it was at the last high. If not, then 270 looks like the next spot. So just something to be aware of. NVAX, NVAX had a nice rally up today. So you see this big old breakup candle here. Did fill any gaps that we had back here. So definitely NVAX doing well. BNTX kind of flat under the moving averages. So not a whole lot of BNTX, and Moderna, same thing, pretty well flat. We do have these gaps that fill above. But out of the biotech, NVAX did the best. Apple, if you look at Apple, see we had this big pullback here from the high of 182, rallied back up to, again, about 181. And then we had a pullback again. And so does Apple. Today, Apple just kind of really fell out of bed here and came down. So, hopefully we bounce off this and find support. We are below all the moving averages now with Apple. So we'll see if we can rally back up here. Microsoft, same thing. It fell out of bed today, fell down as the sector rotation was going on, and we had a high of 337, low of 323. AVGO pulled back, but it basically retraced this whole breakup candle. So let's see if we can bounce off this 5 EMA and rally back up here. Adobe, big sell-off today. So this is another rotation. So 660 down to 560. Huge amount of money rolling out of Adobe. So just be careful out there. Make sure you're locked in. That's why you lock in profits here. And that's why we talk about in our videos. Lock in those profits. So if this happens to you, you don't lose everything. A couple of stocks like Chegg emptied a whole year's worth of earnings just in one day. So just be careful out there. Shopify, again, we had this large pullback, tried to rally up, and then a failure, and we actually broke to newer lows. And we're below the 200 as well. So just be careful out there. Hopefully we get a bounce off of Shopify. You can see we had support back here at 1285. And we almost came down. 1288 is kind of where we were at, bounced off of that. And so hopefully we can rally back up with Shopify. Tesla, we talked about this in the last couple of videos that we keep missing to fill this gap. I think this gap's ready to be filled now. Tesla rallied up and then came back down and kind of fell out of bed. So we'll see. So I'm looking in the morning to see if Tesla gets to 909, fills the gap, and if it does and bounces, then I'll be a buyer. If it breaks below that, then I'll be watching it, because if it breaks 900, then that means we could be coming down to this 200 down here at close to 800, 801. So just be careful. If it does break this level, we are coming down. If it can keep and bounce off this, then maybe we can start to rally back out. Tesla, just to give you an idea. So margin of pain. So options expirations tomorrow. It's quad witching hours, which creates a lot of volatility because all the options are expiring on the same day. So that can create some huge volatility, some huge movement, and a lot of money exchanging. So definitely can see volatility tomorrow. If you're looking at Tesla right now at 926.92 is where it's at. This chart here just gives you kind of a rundown as far as what's the max pain that if the market wants to create pain for the users and basically make everybody look like fools and lose their money. 970 would be that max pain. So it's 970. You can see there's not a whole lot here. Not a lot of calls, not a lot of puts. But above that, you can see there's quite a bit of calls and puts, and then below there's a lot of puts here. So, if it's gonna, Tesla, if they want to create pain in the market tomorrow, they would bounce off that 900 and rally back up to 700, and that would chop out a lot of option users of their money. If it does drop below that 909 and heads down, then basically, there might be a lot of happy people. There's going to be some sad people who had calls, but people who had puts, even more will be happy because it'll capture all of these puts tomorrow. So looking for that. Also, if they do sell off in the morning, it could, allow these people to sell off their puts, and then they could be buying calls, which could then rally the market back up, which would help some of these calls that get stuck and trapped. So our other stocks, U.S. bonds. So bonds sitting here again on that 200 still. U.S. oil pulled down to 62 and bounced off that. So we're back up to 71. Dollar sitting here on the 20. VIX, the VIX continued to pull back here, which allowed us to have a a rally at first, and then it just ramped right back up and back over 20. We're over 20, and so we talked about that in our videos. If it's over 20, it's going to be hard for the market to rally. So we'll see if the VIX can pull back tomorrow, back below the 20. If it rallies back up here, from where it's at right now, it might be a down day Friday. So just something to be aware of. The SPY rallied up here. You can see kind of faked everybody out, and then it kind of dumped all day long. And so, we're sitting at 466. That's a good place for it to be if it wants to try to create pain to the market. So looking at the max pain here, 454 would be really the max pain. That's clear down here. You have all these call buyers, all these calls and these puts. And so it's basically if the SPY drops more tomorrow, we can create more pain for these the ones who have calls. If we can pull down and bounce off that, then we might give an opportunity for both to get out of their position. Triple Qs, you can see here, nice breakup candle, nice breakdown candle, and we're down here at the bottom. So we need to bounce off this. If we don't, we got some weakness, or we're coming down a lot further on those triple Qs. So something to be aware of. Semiconductors, same thing. Big, huge pull down, engulfing candle, engulf that whole candle. So that's not a good sign. Dow Jones, DIA, you can see here, tried to break through resistance, failed, and came back down into support. IWM continues to see weakness here. It almost looks like a double bottom right now. So, is it a double bottom? Could we kind of bounce off here? Could this be like a W, right? It's possible. So we're going to watch it. So hopefully it doesn't break below that 212. If it does, it's going to be even more bullish. And so just something to be aware of with the small caps. Financials rallied up here. You see a little big gap up here. So financials doing really well. Gold finally broke above the resistance line again and above 1800 and holding. So this is great. So 1830 is our next mark, and after that 1860. So let's see if gold can rally up here. Silver, same thing, starting to rally. Let's see if it gets above these moving averages and get rolling here. So silver and gold finally looking better. Bitcoin, flat and consolidating right here. So it needs to find some energy to bust out of this range here. Triple Qs, same thing. We got to bounce off this 50 here. We got to get rallying up here. And so hopefully we can find support and bounce off that. If not, we're going to break down here back towards the 100 moving average. Semiconductors, same. So, all these sectors all in the same boat right now. So they all need to rally from here and get things moving. So be careful out there. Let's talk about cryptos real quick. So Bitcoin, you see here consolidating, still pulling back. AVAX, kind of flat consolidating. Hopefully we can get a bull flag here to where we can bounce up here and create some new highs. HEX had this big pullback, and now it's rallying back up here. We got above the moving averages. So we'll see if we can kind of rally back up here to new highs again. Luna hit this all-time high, pulled back, found support on the 50, and rallying back up now. So that's looking good as well. So that's the market. That's our stocks. Be sure you watch the scanner for over 100% on the scanner, and also high volume, and that'll give you an option to hopefully get in the afternoon if you don't catch the first thing morning rush as it comes out. And but be careful out there. Happy Friday coming up here tomorrow, and be safe out there. Lock those profits in, especially this volatility, so that you don't lose what you're earning. And everybody have a great night. Have a great weekend.